Imagine waking up to the roar of bulldozers shredding your grandfather's century-old cherry orchard. The air thick with diesel fumes and the smug entitlement of a neighborhood busybody who's decided your property is her personal empire. That's exactly what happened to me, Alex Thompson, when Barbara Harrington, our HOA's self-appointed queen bee, forged documents to build her dream community enhancement project right on my land, without so much as a pretty please. But oh, how the tables turned when her web of lies unraveled, leaving her exposed as the ridiculous control freak she truly was, scrambling like a cat on a hot tin roof while justice finally caught up. I never thought I'd be the guy fighting a suburban dictator over a patch of dirt. But here I am, back in Willowbrook Heights, a picture-perfect neighborhood in suburban Colorado where the lawns are manicured to within an inch of their lives and the air hums with the quiet oppression of petty rules. It's the kind of place where folks move for the peaceful community vibe, only to discover that peace comes at the cost of freedom, like no pink flamingos in your yard, no basketball hoops on driveways, and heaven forbid your mailbox isn't the approved shade of beige. I'd inherited the old family homestead 2 years back, a modest 35-acre spread on the edge of the development, after my wife, Sarah, lost her battle with leukemia. She'd fought like hell for 3 years, and in her final days, she'd whispered, "Alex, don't let the world grind you down. Fix what's broken, even if it takes time." I moved back to heal, or at least to breathe without the city's noise drowning out my thoughts. The land was overgrown. Sure, wild grasses waving in the wind, a small pine grove whispering secrets, and that cherry orchard Grandpa planted in the 50s, its gnarled trees still bearing fruit like stubborn old soldiers. I wasn't bothering anyone. I kept to myself, tinkering in the barn, sipping coffee on the porch at dawn while the neighborhood stirred with its regimented routines. Barbara Harrington ruled the HOA like it was her personal fiefdom. Mid-50s, with helmet hair sprayed into submission, driving a pearl-white SUV with plates reading Calm 1ST. She was the epitome of that polished, pearl-clutching authority that hides a core of ruthless control. Everyone called her Barb behind her back, but to her face, it was Mrs. Harrington, President. She'd send out newsletters preaching about upholding standards for the greater good. But really, it was about power, fining folks for overgrown hedges or unapproved holiday lights, all while her own house sported those tacky faux Roman columns that screamed, "Trying too hard." I first crossed her radar about 8 months in. She cornered me at the local diner, sliding into my booth uninvited, her perfume a cloying mix of lavender and judgment. "Mr. Thompson," she cooed, flashing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We're all so sorry about your loss. But your property, it's a bit unkempt, don't you think? Attracts wildlife, lowers our values. The board would love to discuss purchasing it for community green space." Fair offer, of course. I set my mug down with a deliberate clink, meeting her gaze. "Not interested, Mrs. Harrington. It's family land." Her lips tightened into a thin line, that fake sympathy evaporating like morning dew. "Well, standards must be maintained. For everyone's sake." She slid out, leaving her card like a veiled threat. A couple weeks later, the code enforcement van rolled up my driveway. Inspector Joe, a grizzled vet with a clipboard and a world-weary sigh, poked around for an hour. "Anonymous tip," he muttered, kicking at a harmless pile of leaves. "Overgrowth. Potential hazards. But honestly, Alex, this is fine. Total waste of my time." I pressed him on the complainant. He glanced toward the gated entrance of Willowbrook. Off the record? Start with the clipboard brigade over there. I shrugged it off. Small potatoes. I figured. Barbara was just flexing, the way these types do when someone doesn't bow. But then I took a trip, scattering Sarah's ashes in the Rockies as she'd always dreamed. 2 weeks of soul-searching, windswept peaks making me feel small yet resilient. When I returned, my land looked like it had been invaded by fluorescent aliens. Survey stakes dotted everywhere, orange tape flapping like surrender flags along the boundary. I dialed the number on the tags. Yeah, HOA hired us, the bored voice on the line said. Boundary adjustment or something. Adjustment? My deed was ironclad, traced back to Grandpa's purchase in '58. No ambiguities. I called Barbara. Just a formality. Dear, she purred over the phone. Our attorney spotted some old discrepancies. Think of the community. Expanded amenities for all. No discrepancies. I shot back, voice steady. This is my land. A pause. Then her tone turned icy. Courts will sort it. Have a blessed day. Click. I hired my own surveyor, shelling out $2,800 to confirm what I knew. Boundaries unchanged. Crystal clear. Certified letter sent to Barbara, no response. Silence stretched like a taut wire, and I dared to hope she'd backed off. Then came the dawn assault. The rumble shook my windows at 5:45 a.m., engines growling like hungry beasts. I stumbled out in my robe, coffee sloshing, and there they were, excavators clawing at the earth, trucks dumping gravel, workers swarming like ants on a sugar spill. The cherry trees, Grandpa's pride, were being toppled one by one, branches cracking like brittle bones. The scent of fresh soil mixed with exhaust, a violent perfume of progress. Barbara's husband, Victor, a slick real estate mogul with a perpetual tan and a smirk, lounged in the site trailer like a king on his throne. Alex, buddy, he drawled as I burst in. This is HOA expansion. Adverse possession, been using the land for years. Legally ours now. I gripped the doorframe. Bull. Your HOA's barely a decade old. This is trespassing. He chuckled, leaning back. Call the sheriff. Oh, wait, we sponsor their golf tournament. Good luck. I called anyway. Deputy arrived hours later, shuffling feet, mumbling about civil matters and needing a court order. Victor watched from afar, grinning like he'd won the lottery. That cold realization hit. This wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated grab, wrapped in legalese and entitlement. Adverse possession? They'd need decades of open use, impossible. But filing the claim created fog, letting them build while I scrambled. At the county office, the clerk, a no-nonsense woman named Rita with glasses perched on her nose, pulled the files. Claims they've recreating on your land since the 90s. HOA didn't exist till 2012. Phony as a $3 bill, but filed means trouble. She printed the forgeries, stamped, notarized lies. Cost me a 10-spot for copies of my own nightmare. Back home, I tried a DIY stopwork sign, official looking on cardstock. Crew laughed it off. Cute. Pops. One grunted, revving the dozer. By dusk, foundations were poured, trees mulched into oblivion. I found Grandpa's old ledger in the debris, pages smeared with mud, his neat script detailing every planting. Sitting on a dirt mound, rage bubbling like acid, I heard Sarah's voice. Fix it. Alex. Don't rush, observe, then strike. That night, under the hum of crickets, I vowed not just to stop them, but to expose the absurdity of their community charade, where standards meant stomping on the little guy. My neighbor, old-timer Hank with his perpetual chew and binoculars, called at midnight. Saw that harridan in stilettos barking orders at the site. City slickers, clueless. I almost smirked. Hired a lawyer next day, Maria Ruiz, sharp as a tack, rolling up in an electric car that made my pickup look prehistoric. We toured the wreckage. She snapped photos, flipped through docs. Blatant fraud, she said, eyes narrowing at the half-built frames. We'll crush him, but hearing's weeks away, they'll finish first. Hope flickered, then dimmed. But Maria grinned wickedly. Lease pendants, files notice of suit, poisons the title. They build, but can't sell. Useless concrete monuments. She typed it up over lukewarm coffee, filing from my kitchen. Sweet, silent revenge. Barbara showed 2 days later. Filmed, of course. Yoga gear pristine. Concern feigned. Alex, this suit's so unbecoming. Our project boosts the neighborhood jobs. Values. You're holding us back over nostalgia. Camera steady. I replied, nostalgia? Theft. Barbara. She sighed dramatically. We've invested millions. Your shack and sad stories won't sway a judge. Handed me a countersuit envelope. $400K for interference and sauntered off. War of attrition. Maria called it. They'd bleed me dry with fees. But I had time. Grief forged patience. And Sarah's lesson, quitting's for quitters. Dug into public records at the library. Fluorescent buzzed my soundtrack. Pattern emerged. Harrington Holdings had pulled this in 3 states. Boundary disputes, resolved when owners bankrupted on lawyers. In Oregon, elderly couple lost their vineyard. Local rag called it sad progress. Tracked him down. The husband, voice cracked, begged, stop him, son. They ruined us, stroke from stress. Everything gone. Promised him justice. Library silence heavy. Hank texted at 1 a.m. Sites lit. Night shifts. Greedy fools. Replied. Me too. Barbara escalated Thursday. Op-ed in the local paper. Selfish holdout stifles growth. Painted me as grief-crazed hoarder blocking affordable homes. Read. Luxury townhomes. Mentioned Sarah's death as instability. Comments exploded. Move on. Dude. Eminent domain him. Lunch lost to bile. At the store. Clerk averted eyes. Business is business. Coffee shop. Lululemon lady accosted me. My son needs housing, your fault. Walked mid-explanation. Isolation bit deep. But I observed. Noted allies stirring. Maria advised counter-op-ed. Paper butchered it to sound whiny. Went offense. Tipped contractors on unpaid bills. Froze pre-sales. Attended HOA meeting open, but hushed. Barbara preached victory. I questioned adverse possession math. Whispers spread. Tires slashed that night. $300 sabotage. Threat letter. Drop it or we expose you. Laughed. My secrets were boring. Well, pump sabotaged next. Sand clogged. $7,000 fix. Barbara offered $300,000 cash. Generous, she sneered. You'll bankrupt fighting. Panicking. Equipped. She stormed off. Peons like you don't win. Wrong. Smear hit. Fake tax evasion blog. Proved false. But stain lingered. HOA insiders contacted. Retired Prof. Lisa, Builder Tom, Accountant Ed. They dug. Found lies. Building inspectors raided site. Permit fraud. Stop work issued. Barbara ranted online, exposing profits. Deleted, but captured. Sleepless. Attic raid yielded gold. 1998 county letter to Grandpa. Confirming boundary after developer push. Denied. Resolved. Nuke. Proved no error. Fraud blatant. Maria. Let 'em perjure first. Plan layered. Courtroom trap. Financial choke. Media bomb. HOA mutiny. Tipped contractors, liens filed. Pre-hearing. Barbara desperate. Hearing loomed. Momentum mine. Courtroom tension thick as fog. Judge Eleanor Hayes. No frills vet. Victor suited up. Barbara rigid. Their lawyer. Elliot Vance. Spun innocent mix-up. Maria shredded. Unlicensed surveyor. GPS proofs. Called Victor. Number 1998 resolution? He swore yes. Dropped letter gasps. Judge. Perjury. Dismissed with prejudice. Sanctions hearing. DA referral. Gavel slam. Outside. Media swarmed. Ends today, I said. HOA meeting exploded. Debts revealed. Board ousted. Barbara fled mid-vote. Meme fodder. Empire crumbled. Sanctions $112,000. Bankruptcy. Licenses revoked. Land restored. Became Thompson Preserve Gardens. Trails. Scholarships. Barbecue celebrated. Hank. Sarah be proud. New saplings planted. History buried beneath. But here's the kicker, was Barbara the real villain? Or just a symptom of a system that lets community tyrants run amok? True or false? In HOA hell, silence is the ultimate enabler? Drop your take below.